Ode on Melancholy. It was written in three stanzas, and here a poet talks about how to face sadness, how to cope with sadness, and it has its reference to Burton's Anatomy of Melancholy. In the first stanza, poet talks about what not to do. He says, please do not try to commit suicide, don't try to kill yourself, don't try to avoid melancholy, sadness from your life, don't try to end your life, don't try to take drugs for forgetting sadness in your life, and don't even take drinks. Okay, don't drink. So he says these all things are very dangerous for your health, and you shouldn't take these things to end your life. Then poet says that don't count your sufferings, don't keep on thinking always about your sufferings, because we can learn a lot from sufferings too, they can give us new life too, they can transform us in a very new way. Okay, they can bring best out of us also, but they should not decay us. The sufferings which we have in our life, those sufferings should not decay us, they shouldn't result in death. That's what poet says. And then in the second stanza he says, melancholy comes suddenly, it comes like a cloud or a fog, and it covers up flowers and hides the green grass on the hill. So it comes suddenly, we never know when melancholy is going to come. So it will hide all the good things, it will hide green grass, that means it will hide prosperity from you, it will check your progress. So you shouldn't allow melancholy to check your progress. Okay, you shouldn't allow it to block your vision, blind you to from looking at all the beautiful things, nice things which are around you. So sadness can blind us to the beautiful things around us, and depression can conceal all the good things which we shouldn't allow to happen. And that's what the poet says here. In the third stanza, poet says, she dwells with beauty, beauty that must die. Here poet talks about three things. Okay, and they are also coupled with sadness, they are also coupled with just opposite to it. For an example, if a woman is beautiful, it's not that her happiness is her beauty, so it doesn't mean her beauty will last forever with her. It is also going to end one day. Okay, so happiness is again coupled with sadness. And then poet says that joy whose hand is ever at his lips, bidding adieu and aching pleasure, near or nearby, and turns into poison. First poet talks about joy, says joy whose hand is ever at his lips. Okay, joy is with you, but you never know that the very next moment joy will say goodbye. Okay, will give you a flying kiss and say goodbye, I'm going. So joy can go away anytime it wishes to. You never know when your joy, your happiness will turn into sadness. Then poet says pleasure is nearby and turns into poison. So pleasure is there, it is nearby, but when that pleasure itself will turn into poison, you don't know. There are many things which gives us, we bring those things because it gives us lot of happiness, and then when it will become poison, we never know. The same thing. Okay, for an example, a person gets married to a boy or a girl, and he or she becomes very happy and thinks that she is joy of my life, she is happiness of my life, and then they start fighting. Okay, and ultimately it becomes poison in their lives. So that should not happen. And then he says that in the temple of delight, where this melancholy lives, it lives in temple of delight. That means with happiness there is a couple of everything, day and night, white and black. Similarly, happiness and sadness, they are a couple. Okay, they complement each other. So similarly, temple, in the temple of delight, this melancholy lives. And people who can recognize happiness in you can also recognize sadness behind that. That's the poem. Very simple. Three things are first, you should not run away from this melancholy by taking drugs or alcohol or any such thing. Second thing, happiness, in the second stanza he says happiness should not blind you. Okay, and it should transform you into good things, not into bad things. And in the third stanza, he gives a few examples. For an example, he talks about beauty, joy, and pleasure. These three things: beauty, joy, and pleasure, and says that happiness even leave these three things. Thank you.